What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Daniel Cormier confirms that Magomed Ankalaev had broken ribs for UFC 320 fight. Alex Pereira may have dropped some brutal 12-6 elbows on Magomed Ankalaev's ribs during the finishing sequence in their fight. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. However, since the fight, more and more reports have been coming out suggesting Ankalaev went into this bout with a rib injury. During a new video for his YouTube channel, Daniel Cormier corroborated the story.
First off, let's talk about the injury right away. Magomed Ankalaev did have a rib injury. This is not a lie. This is not an excuse. I know this because prior to the fight, I saw video of him getting injections into his rib to try to help him get to the fight. He was able to hit pads and do cardio essentially for a month and a half before the fight. With that being said, I don't know if the result changes if he was healthy because of the way Pereira fought him. I know some people that are very close to Magomed Ankalaev that said for him not to fight. He wanted to fight. He wanted to go out there and beat Pereira again because he understood how important it was to have a victory over Alex, and two, over him would have been even a stronger statement as to why he is who he is. But he was not at 100%, but I don't know if he was at 120% if he would have beaten Pereira on that night.
Another MMA Twitter user named Real Kevin K added, after seeing the reported video of Big Ank being injured from Leo Gamades, I've been informed from sources that Magomed Ankalaev was also unable to finish a single training session in the final 6 weeks of his fight camp ahead of UFC 320. The way Charles Oliveira sees things, rib injury or not, this is simply Pereira's time. As he told members of the press during his media day appearance on Wednesday, Anderson Silva had his time. Everybody watched him dance his way inside the cage. Jose Aldo had his time. I think everybody had their moment and deserve respect. Pereira is at the top today. Oliveira was also asked about his thoughts on a potential Pereira versus Jones matchup, and from the sounds of things, he's pretty torn. I'll sit down and cheer for Brazil, for Poatan, but I'll be apprehensive watching it because Jones is great. But I think that whoever stands in front of Poatan, if Pereira lands a hand, he's getting knocked out. Whether this fight happens, we'll have to wait and see. Alex Pereira trolls Magomed Ankalaev. This morning, Alex Pereira released a video of him going back to the tire shop. Alex said Magomed was right and that he would go back to the tire shop. This is what Alex said.
Fala aí pessoal, comprometido, né? Falei que depois da luta, né? Ia voltar na borracharia, o Ankalaev tava certo. Eu não quero voltar na borracharia. A gente tá aqui hoje, né? Aqui marcando presença, como sempre. Sempre quando eu venho pro Brasil, eu venho pra borracharia. E é isso aí, pessoal. Um lugar aqui tem uma história, muito bonita. Chama.
Fans also pointed out that there was a tool in the video with Poatan and a tire with Ankalaev written on it. Dan Hooker goes off on Arman Tsarukyan. Considering Dan Hooker and Arman Tsarukyan were trading verbal blows before their upcoming fight was announced, it's no surprise that Hooker unloaded on the top-ranked contender during an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show this week. His daddy can pay for the best strength and conditioning coach. I've seen him come out and say he spent $100K in training camp and then pulled out. Bro, what? He should win the amount of money that he puts into these things. Bro, I drive 5 minutes down the road and go out to City Kickboxing and punch my mates. It shows that it's like a true testament to how far the sport has come. Essentially, rich little daddy's boys can reach the pinnacle of the sport. He also issued a warning to Tsarukyan, putting him on notice. He's just a lippy little rich kid that's had everything handed to him in his life. He doesn't need the money from these UFC fights. He does this for attention and likes. I fight to provide for my family. I'm just saying if he walks up on me like he walked up on Bobby Green, the fight is canceled. Despite all of this, Hooker did give Tsarukyan his props, saying this is one of the most difficult fights he could have taken. I knew that absolutely no one wants to fight the guy. I know that no one wants to take that risk. This is one of the most difficult fights. I don't discredit the other guys for trying to find the path of least resistance, but that's just not the way that I do things. I want to go the hardest way. With both guys looking to secure a title shot, the stakes couldn't be higher. Charles Oliveira interested in fighting Conor McGregor for UFC White House. Charles Oliveira has been jockeying for a Conor McGregor fight for years now, and ahead of his upcoming fight against Mateusz Gamrot this weekend, the former champ is hoping that the two will finally get the chance to fight at the White House. When we talk about legacy, I think this will be something huge, so if the UFC needs me, I'm ready. Charles Oliveira versus Conor McGregor, that would be the fight, the money fight. Oliveira also shut down rumors that he may retire in front of the Brazilian fans after Saturday's fight. Although he's coming off a devastating knockout loss at the hands of the champ and faces a long road back to title contention, he has no plans to ride off into the sunset. I don't know if I'm fighting badly or if you want me to retire. Every interview I gave came up with retirement. I never considered it. I never thought about it. The former champion also fired back at his opponents for the AI-generated chicken post that he made that went viral among fight fans after the bout was announced. Fans, media, everybody sends us that. I'm here for 15 years, and you haven't realized yet that I don't care what these guys say or do. It makes no difference to me. My respect towards them continues the same. It makes no difference. With Oliveira looking to get back in the win column, and Gamrot looking to pick up the biggest win of his career, it'll be interesting to see how things play out. UFC updates. Heading into this weekend's card in Rio de Janeiro, let's take a look at today's UFC updates, starting with a cold-blooded line from Walter Walker, who revealed during his media day appearance on Wednesday that he's been keeping a picture of Muhammad Usman as his lock screen. I put Usman's photo because I think he wants to destroy my family, my hype, and what I have. This helps me stay less on the phone and focus on what I have to do. Next up, we have a new addition to the UFC Vegas 109 card on November 1st. Alice Ardelin is set to fight Montserrat Conejo Ruiz. Ruiz is in the midst of a 3-fight skid that's seen her go winless since her UFC debut in 2021. On the flip side, Ardelin is coming off a win over Rayan dos Santos. We also have a new addition to the UFC Vegas 110 card the following weekend. Josh Hokit is set to fight Max Jimenez. The fight will see Hokit look to build on a second-round Contender Series win, while on the flip side, Jimenez will be looking to pick up a big win in his UFC debut. In response to the news of the fight, Hokit took to social media, writing, "I'll be fighting my uncle from my mother's side on November 8th. And last but not least, Uriah Hall signed with Karate Combat after boxing Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. last year. Hall posted about the situation in a video on his Instagram story, saying,
"What's up, guys? I got some good news and I got some bad news. The bad news is there's a lot of people that are about to get hurt. There's a lot of people that don't know how bad they're going to get hurt. Physically, possibly emotionally. The good news is I'm coming to Karate Combat to do that."
So far, no word on when Hall will make his debut at Karate Combat. Dana White reacts to Ronda Rousey rumors. Although Ronda Rousey opened up on neurological problems earlier this summer, there have been rumors that the former champion may be getting ready for a big return to action. Following the UFC 320 card over the weekend, Dana White weighed in on the situation during the post-fight presser. "Her and I still are very close and we talk. I would say we probably talk once every 3 months or something like that. She was in Vegas recently and she came by the offices, but I don't know what her plans are. I think she's just training again. She just had 3 babies and she's in a whole other place in her life. But I will say this, she just had another baby and she's in great shape right now. She's friggin' ripped like she used to be, so I don't know." Ariel Helwani was also asked about the situation during the On the Nose segment of his show this week, and the way he sees it, if Rousey does return, there's only one logical opponent she should face.
She's not just working out for the sake of working out. Now, is she tied to the UFC? No. I mean, conceivably, PFL could go and offer her $100 million. I don't think she's necessarily tied to them. Now, she does seemingly have a lot of history with them and a great relationship with them, so you would think, but I've never said like her coming back to the UFC is a done deal. I'm just saying this is a thing. If there is any chance of a comeback, I think there's only one opponent that would pique Rousey's interest in making a return. Gina Carano.
Although Rousey's been open about not wanting to fight on the White House card, it sounds like if she's interested in a return, Dana White's willing to listen. Alex Pereira receives warning for John Jones fight. Alex Pereira may not have called John Jones out the way he initially planned. However, the way Matt Brown sees things, Pereira is barking up the wrong tree chasing a super fight with Jones. During the latest episode of The Fighter vs. the Writer, he explained, "What Alex and John is going to do is it's going to have a ridiculous build-up where everybody's going to be pumped. There's going to be people betting on Alex. There's going to be people just like Conor going and fighting Floyd. Like, oh yeah, Conor's got a chance. I think Alex has a better chance than Conor did against Floyd, by the way. But you get my point. The matchup is literally the nightmare matchup for Alex Pereira. John is as big, probably a little bit bigger than Alex Pereira. At heavyweight, certainly bigger. A million times better wrestler. There's no way in hell that Alex has wrestling at John Jones' level at this point. Even if John Jones is outdoing for the last year and then just shows up and fights. Of course, Pereira is going to be stuck on the sidelines for a while as he recovers from a broken foot. In the meantime, the champion is up to number 5 on the MMA fighting pound for pound rankings and up to number 4 on the UFC's pound for pound rankings. Given that, we might see Jiří Procházka and Carlos Ulberg throw down in a title eliminator. Arman Tsarukyan thinks Paddy Pimblett can't beat Ilia Topuria. The UFC has yet to announce who Ilia Topuria's opponent will be for his first title defense. However, with the Tsarukyan vs. Hooker announcement, all signs are pointing to either Justin Gaethje or Paddy Pimblett getting first dibs at fighting the lightweight champ. During an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show this week, Arman Tsarukyan was asked if he thinks Pimblett can beat the champion. In response, he said this: "No way. Just me can beat Ilia in our division right now. Everybody knows that. Even the UFC knows it. That's why they're trying to push him as much as possible." As Tsarukyan looks to earn his own crack at the title, he also took aim at his upcoming opponent, Dan Hooker. "Tell him to train how to defend wrestling because I'm just going to wrestle 25 minutes. The way Tsarukyan sees it, a title fight early next year would be perfect. Hopefully I go and beat Hooker, perform very well, finish him, show my level, and after that, get my title fight in January or February." If Tsarukyan wins his upcoming fight, it'll be interesting to see how things play out. Eddie Hearn talks about competing with Dana White in boxing. Eddie Hearn has been pretty open about wanting to compete with Dana White as a boxing promoter. And after the Canelo Crawford card and news of the Zuffa boxing broadcasting deal, it looks like the two are ready to go head to head. During an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show this week, Hearn spoke about how excited he is to compete against Dana. "I compete against other promoters and I compete against the boxing industry. Maybe this interview a few years ago, I would have told you we are poised to dominate boxing globally, which we've been doing, but dominated in the markets that count, particularly the US. Who else is primed to make the play in US boxing like us? The knowledgeable and, dare I say, humble me just knows anything can happen, so we're not taking our eyes off the ball. Our competitors either don't have TV deals or don't have TV deals like us, so we're in a fantastic position. If it's gonna be Eddie versus Dana, like even when I say that, I can't tell you the excitement, because you want to test yourself against the best. He's the best. He's the best MMA promoter in the world, one of the greatest fight sports promoters of all the world, in the world, and I'm gonna take him on in boxing. How good's that?" Hearn also addressed recent comments from Dana White.
And I heard him say the other day, you know, Eddie's gone all Oscar de la Hoya. I thought it was a bizarre comment.
Let's talk about this.
I thought it was really bizarre. Like, if you listen to what I say about Dana, you'll never hear me speak negatively about him. He's been very good to me. I really respect him. But you have to understand that my life is the sport of boxing and our company. When you say publicly that you're coming into the sport and you're going to dominate the sport and you're going to be CEO of boxing and what do you want me to do? Roll over and let you tickle my belly? No.
While discussing White's venture into boxing, Hearn also addressed fighter pay for UFC fighters compared to boxers who will compete under the Zuffa boxing banner. You're going to have a situation where a boxer is making 3 to 4 times more than the main event on the UFC card, and the revenue is more for the UFC card than it is for the boxing. They can't afford for the talent to see the numbers. Of course, for Dana and Zuffa boxing, their success could all come down to whether they can get the Ali Act expanded. Carlos Ulberg responds to Jiří Procházka's comments. Heading into his fight with Khalil Rountree on Saturday, Jiří Procházka slammed Carlos Ulberg for turning down a fight with him. While Ulberg is down to fight for the #1 contender spot now, Procházka doesn't seem to be as interested. During an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show this week, Ulberg fired back at the former champion for claiming he turned down a fight. "It wasn't as Jiří had put it, where I was trying to avoid him or denied the fight. I pushed it because I had an injury, and I didn't expect UFC to tell him that, which was all good. I had an injury, and I asked if we could push it back to November because that would give me enough time to rehab my injury and get back. And considering it was a dangerous fight against someone, we had to do a lot of thinking before we took that fight. We wanted to push that fight with Jiří to November." As Marcel Dorf pointed out, however, Ulberg's side of the story seems to corroborate Procházka's story. "This is just weird. You asked to push back the Jiří fight for November, but you fight Reyes instead in September? Something doesn't add up in the story. It actually makes Jiří's story more believable, because if you can't fight Jiří in Perth, why can't you fight Reyes in Perth?" With Ulberg down to fight for the #1 contender spot, it sounds like the ball is in Procházka's court now. MMA community concerned for Khamzat Chimaev. Yesterday, Khamzat posted on his Instagram showing him working out in front of a picture of Chechen President Ramzan Kadyrov. The MMA community's concern for his well-being started to rise. Many people are theorizing that Khamzat is told to do these things from Kadyrov, or else his family will be in danger. MMA Guru called him out on social media for glazing, writing, "There are a lot of things you can insult Khamzat Chimaev for, but his mandatory and enforced glazing of Kadyrov is not one of them. Even though our politicians are terrible and Some of you have no idea that we are still some of the lucky ones in this world. I dread to think what would happen to Chimaev's loved ones if Kadyrov ever heard the word no come out of Khamzat's mouth. This poster letting Kadyrov's son beat him up for social media, he may not have one ever pulled on him, but around Ramzan, he is forever at point. His own world title completely overshadowed on his wall of accomplishments by a picture of a man who had no part in his success. Kadyrov gets off on making one of the world's deadliest men, the Wolf, submit to him like a scared dog. Here's what the rest of the MMA community had to say. Jokes aside, I hope Khamzat is safe because this is not normal at all. I don't know what that dictator gained out of this. Release him and his family, you piece of Free Khamzat Chimaev. This or get your mom's head sent to you in a box. In his place, we all would do the same. He's safe because he's glazing him. If he stops, his whole family could be in danger. Khamzat better not mention the idea of retiring, at least before he moved himself and everyone he cares about far away from Kadyrov. What do you guys expect him to do, LOL? Doing this is way better and safer than having family and close friends taken off the map. Glazing, it's just him doing what he needs to so his family doesn't get executed. Come on now. The man has no choice. Can't help but feel bad. Bro is literally held hostage. He has no choice, LMAO. Do you think that Khamzat is unsafe with his current situation, or is everything being blown out of proportion? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.